Hey, good evening, Somers, and welcome to the Somers Town Board regular meeting, Thursday, November 12th, 2020. I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. And if you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Okay, Patty, roll call.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchy.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rick Morrissey.
Present. Okay. All right. Before we get into, we have a public hearing tonight. I just wanted to make a comment on our formation of our sewer district vote this week, which was denied. So we will not be forming the proposed sewer district. But I do want to say I want to thank all those who came out and voted. I'm particularly gratified that people could vote via absentee ballot, so that we did. The turnout for this vote was really remarkable. So I do want to thank everybody for that. And just since the results have been put out there and published, I've gotten a number of inquiries about what are we going to do with the $10 million now? Can we form a smaller district somewhere else? And all of that is on the table. But I do want to say the town of Somers will take no action on the formation of any sewer district within the town's border without a valid petition, which is submitted in accordance with section 191 of the town law of the state of New York. This way, it will not be the town trying to decide what is in the best interest of the town. It'll be the community that petitions the town to get involved. So hopefully that'll bring some clarification to sewer formation issue. I'd like to make a motion to open a public hearing on the proposed legislation for creating a town tree board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. And Saret, could you just give the town board and the public an overview of what we're doing here?
Hold on. Can I just do publishing?
Well, I'm sorry. Publishing and posting, Patty.
That's okay. That was published on October 29th in the Somers Record and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And then Saret, if you could give us an overview.
Yes, I think we had discussed this the last time, but I'll give a brief overview again. The town has applied for grants for urban forestry and for tree city designation. And part of the requirement is to create a town tree board. What this will allow the town to do is to get designated as a tree city, and with that designation, make the town more competitive for grants that can be offered under the urban forestry grants. So what we would be doing, and we were not approved for that the last time that we applied, but it gives the town an opportunity to get money for identifying things that are already happening. Obviously, the highway department and the parks department do take care of trees, but this particular legislation identifies the open space committee that would become the tree board that would work in advise and coordination with those two operating departments to identify trees within but all municipal land and along municipal right-of-ways that need maintenance and treatment of any sort. So this is a requirement to become a tree city, and it's fairly straightforward. It had been before the town board. Before, there was some comments from the planning board where they wanted some minor modifications. I have made those modifications, and I think those clarifications are now in there. And it is for the board to review and make a determination.
Okay, thank you. I think also if the board will remember, I think it was maybe last year or the year before that. No, I think it was last year. We had designated $100,000 towards dangerous tree removal. So this is fortuitous now. We're going to have a board which is designated to work with highway and parks. And, just yesterday, there was a power outage in town where a dangerous tree limb outside of the right of way came down, crossed over wires, and took 1,700 homes offline for a couple of hours. NYSEG got up there and restored everyone pretty quickly. But hopefully, not only will this tree board put us in a better position for getting grants in the future, they can work in tandem with highway and parks on keeping our roads safe and our power grid safe as well. So any comments from the board on this?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Well,
It makes grant money available to us, so it's fine.
well, that's our middle name is grants. So Paul, is there anyone for comment on in this hearing?
Yes, sure. I'll let them in. Hang on.
Well, make sure it's for the public hearing and not public comment.
Oh, okay. That I don't know. So we can always tell them to come back for that.
Yep.
So I'm going to let them in. And if you guys are a part of the meeting now, please identify yourself and your name with your name and address and your question, please.
Well, that's our middle name is Grant.
Little tape delay.
Or comment?
Okay. Who's ever a part of the meeting, can you please lower your TV in the background? We're getting feedback.
Whoever telephone number ends in 9538. Please.
Sorry.
All right. If you have public comment, please state your name and address and go
This is
ahead.
about the comment on the tree board.
Do you have just general public comment?
Let everybody get in and explain to them what we're trying to get done.
Yeah, hey, we have
Yeah,
three
we can
people
let 'em
on here. We have three people on here. Right now, we're in the middle of a
Public hearing.
Public hearing, and then we will go into public comment. So you could all stay there, but if any of the three of you have a comment about the tree board, you could say it now, or you could wait a couple of minutes, and then we will be in public comment.
I do have a comment about the tree board.
Okay?
Okay, that's what we want to
My name
hear.
is Robert. Yeah, I'm Robert. Morgan. I live on 1 Carolyn Way over in Purdy's. I'm a New York Botanical Garden certified sustainable landscape manager, and I support a tree board. I've been watching a lot of trees come down lately, certainly across the street, even from the townhouse. And I know the electric companies are doing a good job trimming trees, but I see whole trees taken down, big trees that really add character to our properties and certainly in the town. And I would support having somebody take a broader look at what's going on with the trees in our town. So that's just my comment on that. I do have other comments to the board in the open part of the hearing. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And we have one ending in 4108 and one ending in 9538. Do either of you have a comment regarding this, or is it for public comment?
Public comment.
Okay.
Public comment.
Okay. Okay, if there's Patty, anybody on your end? texting or calling?
I don't have that.
Okay. Okay, so if there is no more comment on our public hearing for the proposed legislation, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
So moved. And then I'll make a further motion to adopt the proposed legislation for creating the tree board.
First, you
Second.
should adopt a
Oh.
neg deck, Rick.
Okay, thank you. Roland? I will make a motion to accept a negative declaration on the creation of the tree board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And then a motion to adopt the proposed legislation for creating the tree board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, I'll make a further motion to close the public hearing.
We already
I
Good
did
call.
that.
Yep.
Thank you.
make
All
a
right, I'll
motion
make
to
a-
open public comment.
Yes, I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
So why don't we start with 9538 for public comment? Unmute, there you go.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Teresa Cotter. I live at the Lane, and I'm calling because I'm very concerned about the possibility of a 7-Eleven going in across the street from where we live. Obviously, Somers is a historic town, it has integrity and charm, but the road is very dangerous with congestion. I have a teenage son. I'm obviously concerned about his driving or my driving. And I know from down on Route 100 that trucks are parked on the side of the road on 100. And I just feel like, how can the town in good conscience say that this is in the best interest or beneficial to the town? The other thing is that I know there's a school bus that stops right in front on that street. And, you know, I would just, for the safety of the town and the residents and the kids, I just think it's something that has to be seriously considered.
Great.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, how about 4108? Unmute. All right. How about 7846? Oh, no, never mind.
Sorry.
Never mind. 4108's here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I unmuted. Robin Anderson, Shenorock, 9 Cypress Lane. I was also very disappointed with the sewer vote, and I just wanted to clarify. So the $10 million is potentially still available if town members came up with a proposal of our own. Is that correct?
Not a proposal, a petition that you would want it.
Okay. Much like the petition that was passed around to call for a vote.
No.
Well,
Explain?
we'll let the town attorney explain. Basically, the regulations under 191 of the Town Code of the Laws of New York State. And Roland, if you could just give us a brief overview for Robin.
It's different than the petition that was circulated for the first referendum. This would be, rather than the town board trying to do this on its own motion, what I think the town board has indicated is that in the future, it would prefer to act only if there's a petition submitted by sufficient number of residents to call for the formation of a district, and then it would not be subject to a referendum because a sufficient number of residents were petitioning for it. And if the town, if the residents decide they want to go into that direction, I will supply to the town clerk a form of petition that could be adopted for use in this situation.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sure we're going to have a million more questions, but that was very helpful. Thank you.
Great.
I think the purpose, if I can add to that, the purpose of this, if the $10 million is there, but we have to find a way to use it, and another defeat or another plan that takes a long time to take, that money could disappear. That money is there to preserve the water for New York City and for Somers. And so we have to make sure that whatever it is, and we have no idea what could happen, but whatever it is, that it succeeds, not only in Somers, but down the County Board of Legislators, who controls that money, and the entrance of any sewage into the Peekskill plant, as Mr. Garrity has pointed out many times. So those are hurdles,
Right,
and we just have to make sure we succeed.
Okay. So, I mean, we can lose access to Peekskill. I understood that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, you're up to date, I'm sure. You've been very involved.
Okay.
So Roland.
Yeah,
could you-
we thank you for your support also.
Thank you.
Roland, could you just, explain what would make a petition sufficient enough to act?
A petition for formation of a sewer district has to be signed by at least 50% of the resident owners of taxable real property assessed valuation.
Within a defined area.
Well, within yes, in the petition, they would delineate the boundaries, but it's more of a weighted vote because it's based on assessed valuation.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. And finally, the last one, 7846, is the gentleman who spoke to us earlier. Sir, if you could unmute. No. He said he wanted to talk about something else in public comment.
Okay, well, I think,
right?
yeah, as has been
Maybe
our
I'll leave
past practice, why don't we leave public comment open? And then as people get in or having trouble getting in, we can address them then.
Hello?
Yes, are you with
Yeah,
you
this
with
is
us,
Bob
sir?
Madigan. Can you hear me? Yeah, sure.
Yes.
This is Robert Madigan at 1 Carolyn Way. I just wanted to comment on the 7-Eleven proposal and the historic district. I think it's a bad idea to have a 7-Eleven right in the center of our historic district for numerous reasons. Traffic is one reason. Garbage is another reason. The amount of people, the density of the area is bad, especially if you compare it to other 7-Elevens. And you know how busy 7-Eleven is down at Whitehall Corners there. But I have a suggestion on how the town might approach this from a different perspective. And that's basically for the town to purchase the property, buy the property. I think the townhouse is not serving us well as far as space is concerned. If you go into any of the offices, you'll see that everybody's crowded out. You know, the assessor's crowded out, the building department's crowded out. It'd be a perfect place for an additional space for our townhouse. The entrances to that property could be closed on in front of the property to loosen up traffic flow. We could create a larger parking lot in the back tied into the townhouse. And I'm just thought this is an idea that the town board should take a look at and consider doing instead of allowing this type of development to go in. If you can't beat them, I guess join them by purchasing the property. And I'd appreciate hearing your comments on that.
Not the first time it's been brought up.
That's it, huh?
Well, it's not the
Nobody
first
has
time
any
it's been brought
comment.
up.
Well, yeah,
About-
we were always looking to buy property. We were looking to buy some property on the other side of the townhouse. The problem is,
Yeah,
it's as strange as it may seem, the person who's selling it doesn't want to sell it for what we want to buy it at. And so
well,
that's been the biggest issue for any property we've looked at.
Right.
But it's not a bad idea. I mean, it's contiguous to the townhouse. You're 100% right. And it's something we'll probably, have considered and will. But that assumes that the owner is going to want to sell it to us. It's something that we as a board feel is reasonable for the town.
Right.
Yeah, and
can you condemn it?
No, we're not going to condemn it.
Why not?
well, wait, who's the attorney here? Roland.
Through eminent domain.
Yeah,
Can it be
what about
condemned?
that?
Yeah.
That's some good precedent.
Theoretically, you could do it, but the mechanism is each side gets an appraisal and submits it to court. The property owner gets the town's appraised value up front, and if he's not satisfied with that, then it goes to trial to determine whether there's any excess value. So
Right.
there is a process, but you can proceed down that path once you establish that you have a legitimate municipal use for the property, and you might.
So,
Right.
Robert, this is not the.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is there a possibility to have the state participate in this? The state
What
really
manner?
could widen the frickin' road in front of the townhouse there. I mean, it's a horrible mess. There's no sidewalks from the townhouse down to the Chicchios, past the fire station to the shopping plaza there.
It's
narrow,
too tight.
but
Too tight. Yeah.
It just seems like of all the town planning going on, this is like a key area that seems to be stuck. Doesn't seem like much is happening. Yes, we've added some sidewalks here and there, but there's no cohesiveness yet to it. There's no cohesiveness to it, so that maybe this is it's just an idea, and I just wanted to bring it to the board. I'm sure you guys have heard crazier ideas, and I hope you can do something in order to improve the character of downtown, and therefore improve the lives of citizens who actually are using the town on a daily basis. That's all.
All right. So, Robert,
That's good.
At last week's work session, we did have quite a lengthy discussion about just this topic, and we were considering hiring a historical planner to study our historic district and what would be appropriate retail uses. And if that would entail, declaring a moratorium for, 3-6 months, a year to collect this information. That's what we are discussing. We did not include in this week's agenda, but I'm sure at the December work session, we will again be discussing that. But I think many of us share your same concerns. The fact that, isn't it appropriate use is really what we want to look at. By code, 7-Eleven is considered a convenience store, and by letter of the law, it's permitted for the zone. However, it's ultimately up to the planning board to decide whether it is is it compatible with the nature of the district that it's proposed for. So basically what we want to do is give the planning board at this point all this information. And if and when this ever comes to a public hearing by the planning board, your comments, Teresa's comments, there was a letter in the Somers Record last week kind of pointing out a lot of the same things you did. Yeah, I think there's a possibility that there's a better use for that structure. I'm a proponent of looking for additional space for the town. I do not disagree with you on your assessment of the town offices. I tried to convince this board to purchase the property off of Scott Drive between the townhouse and Scott Drive. But as
Right.
Deputy Supervisor Garrity points out, does come with a price tag. And we really weren't prepared at that point to increase the tax burden on the town. But look, this may be another opportunity to look at it
I have to endorse your idea of, I have to endorse your idea of finding someone, professional to take a look at it from a historical standpoint, this kind of planning. I'm sure there are other towns that have gone through this, that have historical downtowns and that are concerned with the same type of businesses wanting to locate within their town. It's at the same time, I don't want to step on anybody's property rights, but this is our town. We live here. We do business here every day. We walk through this town. We have our kids in this town. We have people that want to come to this town, want to live to this town. And if we let certain aspects of it degrade, like the historical nature of what we do have, there won't be any more town left. It'll just be a Route 1, just like we see strip malls all over the place, and we'll lose the character of what we have here, which is not easy to get. Not easy, it's not made overnight. It takes hundreds of years, and I guess that's all I have to say. And thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you,
Robert Madigan.
Well then, thank you.
Thank you.
Lot to say. Good, glad
I
to hear
lived on
it.
Carolyn Way. He's got to be a good guy. But I think he brings up a good point, which is as we look at that particular area, we've said that this is part of looking at some parts of the master plan where there seem to be some gaps. And so we have an opportunity perhaps to re-envision or rethink it. And, when Tom and I ran 12, 13 years ago, one of the issues involved there was, it was the middle of the town, which we have discussed over the last several years, the five of us. And how do you put more town in the town of Somers? And we have all shared the vision of making it walkable and having small shops. And one of the main reasons for that is because everyone's property values go up. And even if you don't care about how it looks, you don't care about whether it's quaint, you don't care about what's historic, you just read in the Wall Street Journal or any of the reports on people moving out of the city and they want to buy in places, and there's several things that they look for. Obviously, being close to transportation, so we're fairly close to Sonoma. We're not going to build a railroad into Somers, but also having it walkable and having shopping. And the Chico's is part of that. That was an improvement there. And we have an opportunity maybe to re-envision and set some goals. So I think that everybody's been on the same page here, and I look forward to seeing what we come up with.
Yeah. So just in kind of wrapping this up, I chaired the Architectural Review Board in town for about 18 years. The key with the Architectural Review Board, they are like the caretakers of what the historic district looks like. So if you're going to change a shingle, you're going to paint your house, all that has to be reviewed. Signage has to be reviewed. And you made a point about sidewalks. I think Teresa did, and you did. We did have the DOT out there, and we walked that narrow corridor between Bailey Park and the Chico's on one side of the street, and the townhouse and Heritage Hill Shopping Center on the other side. And there has already been a taking.
That's right.
by the DOT. So when we met with all the property owners on the north side and the south side, they pointed at each other and said, "You take the property on that side." So that's another concern. If we have a convenience store of this nature at that location, and you have a middle school, a half a mile down the road, these kids are going to be walking on the road. So, I mean, these are all valid concerns, and we're taking this very seriously. Let me put it that way. And this discussion will be ongoing. So, thank you for your comments, Teresa and Robert.
And if I can bring up one pet peeve, Rick, since you bring it up, when they came through and redid Route 202 several years ago, if you remember, we had just adopted a complete streets resolution, which the state had asked us to do. Originally, it came with some money, but then it didn't. They just asked for the resolution, that the town adopt a resolution that where possible, it create a complete street, meaning for foot traffic, for bicycle, and for cars.
And
so we
sidewalks.
adopted that at the request of New York State. They came through at night. I think Mary Beth was the supervisor then, or maybe you were. And they redid that. Thank you very much. Never asked the town for any input on what would you like to do? Can we create a bike? What can we do for you? Not anything. They didn't even notify us. And I did, I was down in Westchester County, the Board of Legislators, went down to, they said, what can we do? So their request, I went down and said, here's something you can do to help us as a town in Westchester with New York State Department of Transportation, and to our state representatives, I've made that point. That just seemed to me so short-sighted on their part to not see what would we like and can it be done, even if it's just to create a bike lane or something like that. I just thought that was just a bad example by the state, particularly after we had followed their request to create a complete streets resolution for the town. So just to get off my chest again.
Okay. Feel better? Good.
Thank you. I do. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else out there for public comment at this time? Patty, anybody?
I don't have anyone.
Paul, anybody in the queue?
No, I do not have anybody as well.
Okay. Tom, any emails?
I got nothing.
Okay. All right. Once again, we'll keep it open, but move along. So our next agenda item is department reports. Patty?
I have reports from the town clerk, building inspector, zoning board of appeals, plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, Parks and Recreation, planning and engineering, tax receiver, and director of finance.
Thank you. Okay. The next agenda item here under town board is Town of Somers COVID update. Yes. Okay. This is a becoming quite involved report, as our numbers, not only in Somers, we had an addition of 7 new cases today, which brought our active total up to 30. Now, when I say active cases, these are 30 individuals who are infected with COVID-19, not in a nursing home, but out in a community. There is no neighborhood clusters. They're just random street names and residents. We have been seeing multiple people in multiple households. 4 in one household, 3 in another, 2 in another. Excuse me. No, we have. That's what we're seeing.
Oh, okay.
We have seen that. Yes. So since the pandemic began, we've had a total of 524 COVID positive cases in the town of Somers. This, if you want to compare to the county, the county is currently at 42,454 positive cases. They had an increase of 1,094 cases just this week. Westchester fatalities. We had 6 additional fatalities this week in Westchester, which brought our total up to 1,479. In New York State, there's 532,180 positive COVID tests, positive cases throughout the state. And this is a grim number, but in New York State, fatalities went up by 501 since last report. bringing our total fatalities in New York State to 25,973. So the grim message here, folks, is this virus is still very, very much with us. It's incumbent upon every individual to be civic minded, which means if you're in public, wear your mask, stay 6 feet away from somebody. And when you get the opportunity, wash your hands. These are basic hygiene things we should be doing. One other comment I just do want to make, because last weekend, the police had to respond to a party that was being held out in the woods behind Shenorock and Lincoln Hall with a bonfire. And there were over 75 young adults out there. So the town police responded, state police responded, and broke up the party. But those 75 kids who commingled went home and had the potential of infecting their family members, their grandparents, whoever their family hub was made up of. So this is really a message to parents of young teenagers. Please just sit them down, talk to them about the importance. We have an infection rate in Westchester County of 4%.
No, right now, it's the 7-day average is 3.5, and yesterday was 4.3.
Okay, 4.3%. So it's not going down. And if we don't do something to, curtail ourselves in our town anyway. I mean, Yorktown, they blew up as well. Down county, they're getting an increase in their cases. So, just a word for the wise. The governor, I guess, in response to these increases, has passed an executive order that in residential gatherings, like we're going to have in a couple of weeks at Thanksgiving, you're limited to no more than 10 people. Now, this is 10 family members. Now, how you regulate that, I have no idea, but that's the executive order. So the message, please just be mindful, be civic minded, have a mask with you at all times. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I got out of my car, started walking across a parking lot, had to go back and get my mask. But it's a necessary evil, and I'm trying to be as diligent as I can. Yes,
Rick, it's funny. I mean, just so people can relate, when this first started, you had like New York and those counties really blowing up. Putnam was very low, but right now, the numbers are starting to blow up in areas where they were historically lower. But just in our very area, Putnam, which was always trailing pretty low, they're a 7-day rolling average of 4.1. And they've always been, they've always had a very low number. Like I said, we're rolling average in Westchester of 3.5. And those are actually higher than even numbers in New York City. New York City's 2.6, 1.6, and those numbers. So, it's out here in the burbs and upstate New York, and it's growing. So we have to make sure that we're careful.
I think the numbers like just over the border in Danbury are even higher.
So I don't have that on here. I only have the
And
New
I've
York
seen,
numbers.
New Jersey's like what, right over the bridge. They're talking about 12%.
Well, and Portchester just was bumped up to an orange zone.
It was up
which-
Yeah, they shut
30,
down.
Yeah,
30,
has,
it went up 30 over yesterday. The stuff that you talked about. Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So everybody's got to be careful. Those parties are, I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah,
Well, the figures that I read today, or the analysis I read today, is that it's now spread. There's always those super spreaders like that wedding out on Long Island that they had, or various places. But it is now seemed to be concentrated in smaller social gatherings where people think that they're pretty safe. And it might be with 10 people, or it might be at dinner, or it might be a house party, or the last weekend, which no one would say is a small gathering, that the police were called to. But it seems to be that now is where the newer cases are coming from. So you're 100% right. This is the time when we all have to be more careful with those around us, not just when we're in large groups.
You have kids coming home from school now for the holiday.
That's right. So, anyway, try and stay
Okay.
safe, everybody.
Yeah, please do. All right, our next agenda item is to set the salaries for elected officials. Okay, I will read what our proposed salaries in the, well, we're going to set them tonight. For 2021, the supervisor is at $109,233. Superintendent of Highways, $114,555. Town board members, 3 of the town board members are at $12,612. And the deputy supervisor is at $13,692. Town clerk, $87,479. So, Patty, do we need to make a motion to adopt those?
Yes.
Or it's, okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the aforementioned salaries for elected officials. All in
Second.
favor? All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so moved.
Just so people understand, the salary for the deputy supervisor is a salary for when he is a town board member. It's not a separate salary. It's so if someone were a deputy supervisor, it could be anyone appointed by the supervisor. It would not be that unless that person is a town board member, just so no one thinks that there's.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is moving forward next year, we'll put it into a separate line item.
That's what I would recommend, that difference. Yeah, it makes it more clear.
Yeah. I know
Okay.
other towns have done that. I looked up other town budgets, and they did the same.
Okay. We can do that. We'll do that in 2022.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
adopt
now
the
let's schedule a public hearing for the preliminary budget.
Oh, no,
Well,
don't we have to adopt the tentative budget first?
that's what I'm about to do.
Oh, I thought you were setting a public hearing for the preliminary.
Okay, so we just adopted the salaries. Now we'll move to adopt a tentative as the preliminary budget. Okay, so let's make a motion to adopt a tentative as the preliminary.
Second.
I got
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. And then let's schedule a public hearing. I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the preliminary budget for December 3rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
And I don't know if everybody was clear, if they're just watching this, that many of those salaries you mentioned had 0% increases.
Yes, you know what? That we usually make a very strong point about that, but yeah, those are for the most part they're zero. But our preliminary budget now is basically a zero tax increase budget. It was the board's and my desire to not increase the tax burden during these very, very difficult times of economic stress on some of our families in the town. So we are striving to keep that budget at a zero property tax increase.
I think that'll be appreciated.
I would hope. because it's not easy getting there, let me tell you. Okay, our HVA system at Reynolds House, we have a DASNY SAM grant. So to move that along, Saret, are you still with us this evening?
I'm back. Yes, here I am.
Okay. Why don't you just walk us through all the hard work you've been working on as far as getting this, the Reynolds House HVAC system?
Okay, this started out as a state municipal SAM grant that was provided to the town by Senator Harkin's office for $50,000. And working with, the Open Space Committee and Michael Barnhart, et cetera, we were able to identify the things that were needed and identify by talking to different people what kind of items we could put in a grant application. So we had the SAM grant approved by the state, but the next step is that it goes to DASNY, the Dormitory Authority, who processes all of the SAM grants. And this stage requires a whole series of other paperwork. And those items that need to be done are the entire SECRA process, declaration of the town board as lead agency, which you need to take action on tonight. Once you do that, because you are the only board that can actually be a lead agency, you can move along with SECRA and make a determination related to a negative declaration. In fact, providing the HVAC at Reynolds House will have positive impacts and no significant negative impacts. And once you do that, if you vote to allow the supervisor to complete and execute the grant documentation, then I can proceed to do all of those documents and have the supervisor sign them. And part of this is that we get these estimates, several months ago, and it's very close to the $50,000. It's 49 and some odd change $1,000. So in the event that when the bids come in, that they are slightly over, we need to make this determination as part of the grant application that the town is willing at this time to allocate additional funding in the event that the bids come over that $50,000 grant. So that's the last thing that you need to take action on tonight.
Okay, thank you. Very succinct. So let's go down the checklist. I'll make a motion to declare the town board as lead agency in this matter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So moved. Make a further motion to declare secret determination as a negative declaration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Approval to complete and execute the required DASNY grant documents.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a question on this next one before we adopt it, Rick.
Sure.
Are those the $20,000? Is that out of the recreation fund from the Parks Department, or is this out of town fund?
No, I believe, Saret, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's Parks and Rec funds.
I honestly cannot say. All I do is ask Bob Kehoe whether or not there's money. He tells me yes. I don't know where it's coming from.
I know the
but,
first 100,000 we gave them was the parks, because I remember a lot of people on the parks board said they didn't think it would ever get done. And we said it would with Bob McGregor and Michael Barnhart. So I would assume this would follow that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I checked today, and they believe that 100,000 had not been expended.
That's what I was gonna ask,
So,
because I know we gave them
so that was
100.
my question earlier today. So I checked with a member of the Parks Board and said, he said, I don't think we've expended all that. And the town, yeah, as you said, Tom, they had said you can spend up to 100,000, and then not everybody was thrilled with that, but they said don't go over that without asking us.
So
And
let's,
so that's why I
let's
did.
put,
But then it says town funds, which can include the rec funds, but I
Right.
wasn't quite sure where it's coming from.
so let me put it this way. If there is $20,000 of that initial 100,000, then this authorization would cover that. If there's not 20,000 in that fund, this motion would cover that as well. So it's
Yeah.
Look, we want to get that Reynolds house completed. It's getting so close. You know, we need a front porch on there. We need heat and air conditioning. And then we can just button everything up inside and get a tenant in there.
No, I'm fine with it. Rich's question was a good one, but I'm
Yeah,
fine.
no,
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to authorize the allocation of up to $20,000 of town funds to fund the project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Okay, thank you. Now I can complete the grant.
Thanks, sir. Have a good night.
Thank
You
Good
too.
night.
Thank you. Okay, personnel is our next item. List of vacancies on our boards.
Say, Rick,
Yes,
we not going to make a planning board an appointment?
yeah, that's under personnel.
Is it there? Okay.
It's gonna be.
Gonna
Okay,
be.
good. Okay, good. All right, good. I didn't see it there, that's all.
No, well, we had just to determine that
All right.
in another session.
Yeah.
So here are the boards that have vacancies. As we always say, please come out and get involved in your town. We had a great turnout for the Board of Trustees for the library. A lot of interest there, and we're looking forward to hearing from the Board of Trustees on their recommended trustees that they've interviewed. So there's upcoming vacancies, once again, Library Board of Trustees, Partisan Prevention, Planning Board, and Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to recommend at this point the appointment of Jack Mattis to the Planning Board to the unexpired term ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Congratulations, Jack. I'm sure you're going to serve us well.
Be one of our indentured servants, services. Join the
He
club.
serves a lot of things. He'll be a good indenture. He's good.
Yeah, that he will. Okay, our consensus agenda, 1 through 6. Any issues, questions, or concerns? Okay, if here no concerns, I'll make a motion to adopt our consensus agenda, items 1 through 6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, which concludes our town board meetings for the month of November 2020. I cannot believe we have 2 more town board meetings in 2020. This is the year I'm sure we're all like to forget once we get into 2021.
Please.
It's been a tough one. That's for sure.
So our first virtual meeting was when? Was that March? Or February?
Would have been February. I think the lockdown went into effect after our March meetings.
And then,
So April, rather, not February, April.
April.
all right, so Roland, we're good with
On time.
Zoom meetings through December 3rd, correct? think that's
Yes,
the,
but I'm pretty confident it will be extended again.
It definitely will be.
Yeah.
yeah, considering, the trend right now.
Right.
I mean, Cuomo just said that all SUNY schools are not going to be able to go back until February 1st.
All
So
right.
he's already extended that until through January.
Okay.
Well, the public school shoe is about to drop then, huh?
Oh, probably, but we shall
Uh,
see.
Okay. All right, I'm going to make a motion to, is there anyone that's in the queue, either with Patty or Paul or Tom on public comment?
No, nothing on my end, guys.
Okay, hearing none. I'll make a motion to close public
Does
comment.
Bill have any fun facts for today?
Wait, we're not on to that yet.
Oh,
We're
excuse
closing,
me. My
we're
fault.
closing public comment.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Was that a second to
Second,
close?
that's a second, that's a second. Give
Okay,
give that to Rich.
all in favor?
I
Aye.
appreciate
So
my fan
moved.
base, Rich.
Yeah, public comment is now closed. Now, I'll open the floor to any concerns, anything you want to talk about. Rich has just challenged Bill to his fun fact.
Are there any announcements?
The
Patty,
important
do you
stuff
have-
first.
Do you have any announcements? I don't have any.
I did not receive any announcements today, no.
Well, I
The
will.
bulk refuse
before-
drop off ends Saturday. That I know.
Okay, well, yeah, let's give announcements. What do you got? Bulk refuge down at City Carding ends this weekend. Tom, what did you have?
No, I was just going to tell everybody to have a nice Thanksgiving, a safe and healthy, nice Thanksgiving
True.
With 10 or
And,
fewer people.
with 10 or fewer people. I'll be looking in your window.
Take a
And
head
then
count at
And
the,
if I like what I see, I'm going to come in and eat with you.
oh, boy.
Sorry, I don't want to disappoint Rich. Should I chime in now or give it another minute?
No,
Go
go
ahead.
right ahead. We're poised.
Yeah, to follow on the deputy supervisor's comments, a happy Thanksgiving to all. November's kind of a gloomy month, especially because of the weather. But we do have a lot of great things to be thankful for. We got Thanksgiving. Yesterday we had a great Veterans Day turnout despite the gloomy weather. And it also is November is Movember, which is dedicated to personal health and well-being. And this is the year to absolutely take advantage of all the benefits for exactly that. And I'll close with that.
All right, and thanks for reminding me, at our, it was a virtual Veterans Day celebration with a very small group. I think there were 37 of us there, but our keynote speaker was a Mr. Johnson. He was a Vietnam vet. This gentleman is the oldest of 10 family members, and of all his family members, they have all the armed services covered: Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army. And he gave quite a moving address to the crowd. So we all thanked him for his service. And he thanked us for our service. He believes that, if you're in public service, if you're in an organization, you too are serving the community. So he's a very spiritual man. Very nice gentleman.
I have a fun fact for Bill.
Uh-oh.
Well, can we all listen to it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Looking at my history channel, this day in history, because I want to be prepared for Bill.
Uh-oh.
On this date in 1799 is the first recorded meteor shower in North America.
Wow.
Some guy named
Wow.
Andrew Ellicott witnessed the Leonids meteor shower from a ship off the Florida Keys, and he wrote in his journal, "The whole heaven appeared as if illuminated with skyrockets, flying in an infinity of directions, and I was in constant expectation of some of them falling on the vessel." This date $17.99, and don't we all remember it well?
For the
You can
record, I
imagine
know,
the view
I
though,
know
because
Rich,
it didn't have the light pollution that we have to contend with today. It must have been really spectacular.
I know
True.
Rich got that fun fact, but I have to say, at least during the meeting, I was actually paying to the meeting. I wasn't watching TV.
Ooh.
It's
That's
on
an-
my phone.
Oh,
Mr.
okay. I got
Garrity.
it.
It's
I
on
got
my
it.
phone. It's an app that I have from the History Channel, trying to
Excellent.
stay up on my history
Very
for
good.
you, just to
Thank
let
you. I
Mr.
appreciate
Garrity
it.
know things.
I'm going to go tell Brenna.
Watching
go.
television. That's not on. I was watching a football game, but it wasn't a History Channel.
Okay,
All right, guys.
gentlemen and ladies, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving,
Yes.
peaceful one and a healthy one. And that goes out to all Somers residents as well.
Thank you.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. So
All right,
moved.
everyone, have a good holiday.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Thank you very much.
Good night.